So today we're going to make one of my favorite lobster recipes, which is grilled flatbread with lobster and chive aioli. And it's inspired by one of my favorite classic New England recipes of the lobster roll.
We have these great fresh lobsters right out of the ocean. You can use the pre-cooked lobster meat that you get in the store, or if you want to use whole lobster that you buy from the store, you can use those also. If you do buy the ones at the store, you're going to want to make sure that you take off the bands off of the claws before you drop it in. Where the band meets the claw, it won't cook properly if the claws are bound with the rubber band, so just take those off. So it couldn't be any easier. We've got a pot full of boiling salt water. If you're not right on the beach like we are, you can just take a pot full of water, add a little bit of kosher salt to it, but I'm using seawater. So, and it's just as simple, dropping the lobsters in, and we're gonna cover the pot back up so that it helps bring it back to a boil quicker. Now this is gonna take 15 minutes, and in that time, I'm gonna turn it over to Kelsey and she's gonna make up those flatbreads.
So I love grilling flatbreads at home. It is so easy to do. And what I do is I just buy some pre-made pizza dough at the store, or you can make your favorite pizza dough recipe at home. And I have a nice soft pizza dough here, and I'm gonna divide it up into 4 pieces. Take each piece and just use your hands to stretch it into a circle that's about 8 inches in diameter. And it doesn't have to get too technical. If it's not a perfect circle, not a problem.
I'm gonna jump in and do that as well.
Yeah, please, come on. So what we'll do is we'll get these all stretched out for our flatbread. And this is gonna serve as the roll for our New England lobster roll. So while these are stretched out, I'm gonna oil up the grill grate with a lot of olive oil. And just any olive oil you have at home is fine. There we go. So what you do is you just take the bread right on the grill grate. You can hear it hiss a little bit, and we'll leave it there for about 2 minutes. And after 2 minutes, I'm gonna check underneath and it should be getting crispy, and then I'll turn it over and grill the other side.
Okay, so our lobsters are done. I'm gonna pull them out. And be careful because they will be warm and they will be full of water and you don't want to burn yourself. And Kelsey's finished up with all the flatbreads, so now let's crack open some lobsters. Kelsey, right. I'll let you have the first go at it.
Okay, so when I learned how to crack lobsters when I was growing up, I learned kind of the way for kids to do it, and I still think it's the easiest way for me to do it. So what I do is I start by taking the body and the tail, and I bend it backwards, and it gets nice and messy. So make sure you have a clean spot in your kitchen where you're not going to eat off of. And then you can keep just bending. I just keep bending the lobster tail back until I can get the meat right out. Is this how you do it?
Well, in the kitchen, you know, being a chef, we treat the lobsters a little different.
Okay, you show me. Here's my lobster tail.
So what we do with the lobster tail is you just break it off, but then not being as dainty, you just take a knife and cut it in half.
Yes. I didn't learn to do it that way at home.
So let's get on the claws now.
Claws are my favorite.
They're my favorite too, absolutely. Let's see. So now that we finished breaking up all the lobsters, we've added it to some lobster meat that we did a little earlier so we wouldn't waste a lot of time cracking a lot of lobsters. Yeah. So now Kelsey's gonna teach us how to make that great chive aioli.
And this is so simple to make. And what I like to do is start with a nice big bowl, and we'll add our garlic, chives, Dijon mustard, add a little spice to it.
Oh yeah, it'll give it a good kick.
Yeah, and then some mayonnaise. And I'm gonna ask you to start whisking.
Okay.
There we go. And finally, we'll add a pinch of salt and pepper, and you can season it as you would like for taste.
Now you want to make sure that you whisk it well to get all the different ingredients well incorporated so you don't have flavor pockets and it gives you a good consistent flavor throughout. All right, what next, Kelsey?
So the aioli is done, and it took, less than a minute. It was so easy to do. And now we're going to fold in our lobster meat, and I also like to add a little bit of finely chopped celery because I like the crunch.
Yeah, texture is great.
So here's our lobster meat, all freshly made. There we go.
That's a lot of lobster.
That is. Well, don't scrimp the lobster. It's a lobster roll. And then the celery. And we just fold it right in together into the aioli.
Well, it's well mixed, and I think we're ready. What's next?
Next, what I do is I just scoop the lobster meat right on top of the grilled flatbread. And you can eat it with a fork and knife, or what I like to do is fold it up with my hands and eat it like a lobster roll. Well, thank you so much for having me today. I'm Kelsey Banfield, the Naptime Chef, and this is my favorite recipe for grilled flatbreads with lobster and chive aioli.
Well, thanks for coming, Kelsey. And this is Chef Owen with Cuisine. Till next time, stay inspired.